All right, let's just jump right into this. Welcome to today's deep dive analysis, where we're looking at a massive, seismic shift that has completely upended the world of online content creation. Just imagine waking up one morning, grabbing your coffee, checking your website analytics, and realizing that the steady stream of traffic you've relied on for months has literally vanished. Poof. Your digital footprint effectively erased overnight. No way, right? Well, that is exactly what happened to millions of creators recently, and it's what we call the AI paradigm shift. So today, we're not just going to talk about the disaster itself, we're going to break down exactly how content creation has to drastically adapt so you can survive and actually thrive in this new reality.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the AI content wipeout, move into why generic AI fails, introduce the traffic tap solution, break down the 7-pass process, look at standard AI versus traffic tap, and finish up with building long-term traffic. Let's get to it.
Section 1. The AI content wipeout, and specifically the March 2026 shift.
So what caused millions of AI pages to just vanish overnight? Well, the sheer scale of this event was honestly staggering. We're talking about the March 2026 search engine update. Google confirmed what a lot of people had already suspected and rolled out its biggest update of the entire year. And the result? Absolute chaos. Millions of AI-generated pages were wiped out in an instant. Sites that had been successfully pulling in consistent, reliable traffic for months, they just disappeared from search results, gone. It obviously raised a massive, terrifying question for content creators everywhere. What exactly went wrong here?
You know, for a lot of creators, the immediate reaction was to blame themselves. SEO experts are always telling you to grind, right? Build more backlinks, study those incredibly complex keyword difficulty scores, post consistently every single day for 6 to 12 months. It really starts feeling like a second job, and when the traffic disappears after all that, it completely feels like a you problem. But the source material gives us a very clear, reassuring reality check. It wasn't you. Your effort was never the issue. The quote right here says it all. The tools were just wrong. The generic, everyday systems that so many of us relied on, they simply failed when the rules of the game changed.
Section 2. Why generic AI fails, also known as the robotic content penalty.
Okay, so the absolutely crucial point to understand here is this. Generic AI content looks exactly like everyone else's generic AI content. It's robotic, it's incredibly obvious, and it totally lacks human judgment. Those pages were built to game a system that, frankly, just does not exist anymore. Both search algorithms and, everyday readers, they instantly recognize and reject these identical, mass-produced first drafts. After that massive update, search engines started heavily penalizing this robotic output at a scale we've literally never seen before. It's a massive quality filter now, and generic AI simply doesn't pass the test.
Section 3. The traffic tap solution, or what's being called the content conveyor belt.
Enter what the source calls the content conveyor belt. It's a platform named Traffic Tap, and the premise here is a complete game changer in how the workload is handled. It's ridiculously simple. You drop in one single keyword, you wait about 60 seconds, and you get a fully finished article. It completely shifts all of that heavy lifting away from you. But far more importantly, it's designed from the ground up to deliver exactly what modern search engines are currently rewarding, which is content that actually reads like a real human being took the time to sit down and write it.
Section 4. The 7-pass process. This is the core mechanism of the whole thing. Now, Traffic Tap doesn't just take your prompt and lazily spit out text. It actually runs through a rapid, super comprehensive 7-pass process in the background before you even see the final result. Pass 1 studies what is already ranking out there and deeply analyzes your competition. Pass 2 builds a title specifically designed to get clicked. Pass 3 writes an opening hook that pulls the reader in immediately. And Pass 4 constructs the full, comprehensive 1,000+ word article. It is an incredibly fast, structural buildup of your content.
And this next part brilliantly illustrates how it optimizes for search intent completely automatically. Pass 5 integrates the exact frequently asked questions that real people are currently typing into search bars. Pass 6 then strategically places your keywords exactly where they need to be for maximum visibility. So before we even start worrying about the tone of the writing, the entire structural foundation is already built specifically to align with what search algorithms prioritize today.
All right, now we need to slow down for a second because this builds to the absolute most critical step of all. Pass 7, humanization. This right here is the ultimate antidote to those search engine penalties we were just talking about. In this final pass, the system actually actively scans its own work, and it rewrites anything that sounds even remotely robotic until it flows completely naturally. It specifically mimics the human judgment that generic AI completely lacks. That natural flow, that is the exact quality signal that survived the big wipeout.
Notice this massive 0 on the screen. This represents the total amount of input required from you after typing in that initial keyword. 0 prompts to engineer, 0 tedious editing required, 0 rewriting. The entire 7-pass process just runs automatically in the background, which is a total departure from that frustrating trial and error cycle we are all so used to with standard language models.
Section 5. Standard AI versus Traffic Tab. Let's look at the big contrast.
Look at the stark contrast here. It's literally night and day. On the left, we have generic AI. It got totally wiped out in the recent updates. It basically just hands you a rough first draft. It requires endless prompt engineering to get anything remotely useful, and honestly, it sounds hopelessly robotic. Now look over at the right column with Traffic Tab. You get a 7-pass humanization process specifically built for what search engines actually reward right now. You get a completely finished article rather than just a draft. It requires 0 prompting beyond the keyword, and it guarantees a natural human-like flow. It's really the difference between having raw, unpolished material and having a fully market-ready asset.
Section 6. Building long-term traffic. This is the ultimate outcome we're looking for.
At the end of the day, the goal here isn't just to get random clicks. It's to capture what we call buyer intent. Because that 7-pass process studies the competition and adds highly searched FAQs. It brings in visitors who are already actively searching for the specific solutions you might be promoting. It aligns your content perfectly with real buyer intent. And when you capture highly targeted visitors who are ready to take action, well, that naturally leads directly to higher affiliate commissions. It's all about quality traffic over vanity metrics.
And we can really see this compounding effect validated by early users. This quote from a beta tester named Canton Ken hits the nail on the head regarding the ultimate outcome: consistent traffic building on itself. When you have a reliable conveyor belt that's producing fully optimized, humanized content, every single piece you publish acts as a brand new entry point. It's not just a flash in the pan. It's a solid foundation that compounds over time, drawing free, sustainable traffic from search engines, AI search platforms, and high-authority sites round the clock.
Which brings us to the ultimate question for literally anyone creating digital content today. Just look at the landscape out there. Millions of pages disappeared because they relied on outdated, robotic methods. The rules have permanently changed. So you have to ask yourself, will your content survive the next algorithm update? Or is it time to evolve your strategy? The tools to create natural, highly optimized traffic-pulling content are out there. It's really just a matter of stepping off the old hamster wheel and utilizing the right process. Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and I highly encourage you to take a hard look at how you're building your own content foundation moving forward. Catch you next time.